we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty. Every thoughtful citizen who despairs of war and wishes to bring peace should begin by looking inward, by examining his own attitude towards the possibilities of peace. Too many of us think it is impossible. Too many think it is unreal. But that is a dangerous, defeatist belief. It leads to the conclusion that war is inevitable, that mankind is doomed, that we are gripped by forces we cannot control. We need not accept that view. Our problems are man-made, therefore they can be solved by man, and man can be as big as he wants. No problem of human destiny is beyond human beings. Man's reason and spirit have often solved the seemingly unsolvable, and we believe they can do it again. Surely the opening vistas of space promise high costs and hardships, as well as high reward. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest, to wait.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Armed with automatic weapons and shotguns, the police moved in after the crowd threw rocks and bottles at the building, breaking many windows, while Mayor Kenneth Gibson was inside meeting with Puerto Rican community leaders, attempting to end the second day of street disturbances.
Population keeps on breeding, nation bleeding, still more bleeding Life is funny, skies are sunny, bees make honey, who needs money more?
One of the most disastrous bushfires in Australian history sweeps across the eastern slopes of the Blue Mountains, 50 miles from Sydney. Leaping across the parched countryside, the fire destroys over 60 homes in 12 hours of flaming fury.
I've been looking for a long time. I think I've seen you before, and I'll see you again. When I'm gonna slow down, there's a place where you live, and a place where you grow.
The New York Fire Department responds to nearly 250,000 calls a year, 3 times as many as the London Fire Brigade. And the busiest district is the South Bronx, where last year the men from Battalion 27 responded to more than 10,000 calls. On average, that's one every 45 minutes, night and day, every day of the year.
tempt my anxious mind. And it takes me away, takes me away, takes me away. It takes me away, takes me away, takes me away.
A single red rose was left by the bereaved families today on the spot where the IRA bomb was planted last year. Julian Armstrong, whose parents died in the blast, left a wreath at the War Memorial.
The hospital authorities in Omagh in County Tyrone are now saying that 21 people died in the car bomb attack in the town this afternoon. Some of them were children, scores of others have been injured, some critically.
Central Star Food Bank.
Good evening. A historic day at Stormont. After 2 years of talks and after a generation of bloodshed and decades of division and acrimony, George Mitchell ushers in what the whole island hopes will be a new era of peace. An agreement that will...
The scenes that we saw were absolutely disgraceful in terms of the serious criminal acts that were being carried out and the violence, which was an extremely distressing incident for the bus driver and the people that were on the bus at the time. But there were certainly some children present who we would assess as being as young as 13 or 14 who were encouraged and supported by adults who stood by.
Good evening. With a curfew now in effect, the only persons on the streets of Miami's riot-torn areas are police, National Guardsmen, and numerous snipers, looters, and torchmen setting dozens of fires that are now burning out of control. Some persons in the affected areas have had enough, and as C.T. Taylor reports, they are beginning to arm themselves to protect their lives and property.
in World War II, and I've seen mutilated bodies. I don't remember anything as bad as this.
It is as if all the aggression a human being can have was savagely unleashed. We just can't understand why they did this to each other.
I don't hate you now. Just I can't be around you anymore. I can see you, can't you see? Your sweet face turning my memories. So